Hello, and welcome to Entrepreneur Talks podcast. We are Women Flicks, a community where we empower, develop, and collaborate with women around the globe who are in business, startups, they are coaches, they are consultants, they are service-based entrepreneurs. We help them to build a six-figure businesses while living the life they love. We provide coaching sessions on business and life. We provide workshops for women, and we also support and help other women on social media with our strategist manager. My name is Yola Bastos. I'm one of the co-founders of Women Flicks, and I'm here to provide you the new season with the new guests and new inspirations. Welcome to our new season. My guest for today's podcast is Ronald Foglia. Ronald has been a consultant, and during the last recession, Ronald discovered that helping clients reduce stress was the key to successfully saving their businesses. With stress minimized, strategies could be easily modified to regain stability and ensure growth. So let's welcome Ronald Foglia and listen and get inspired throughout his own journey. Hello, Ronald. Welcome to my podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today with me.
Hello, Yola. I just want to let your audience know that as long as you're dealing with stress, you're never going to achieve any goals or anything of any value in your life.
Fantastic.
Now, to that point, what I'd like to do is actually take you and your audience through a simple 60-second breathing and visualization exercise that's going to help you get stress under control.
Fantastic.
This process has been used for the last several years, actually, by elite military and law enforcement agencies around the world. When you get into, or when they get into a crisis situation, they're usually armed and they need that clarity so they know how to make the right decision at the right time. Let me explain this exercise. It's really simple. We're going to breathe in through the nostrils to a 4 count. As you're doing that, you want to see that air come into your nostrils and into your lungs. At that point, you hold it into your lungs to a 4 count. You're going to exhale to a 4 count through the nostrils, and then you see that air in front of you just dissipate to a 4 count. That's just about 16 seconds. Now we're going to do that 4 times, and that'll give us our minute. There's just a couple things I want you to do just to start with. Be aware of your body. Scan your body quickly and see where you might be holding stress. Everyone holds stress in a different part of their body, in their eyes, in the back of their neck, their forehead, their chest, abdomen. Everyone's different, but just scan your body, see where you might be holding stress, but don't try to do anything about it. Just be aware. The next thing is to be aware of your thoughts. Are your thoughts tense? Are they racing? Are you dealing with some issues? Are they going really, really fast? Just be aware of them. Again, don't try to change anything. I mean, you might even be thinking, this guy's crazy. Nothing's going to work in 60 seconds, but that's okay. Just be aware of your thoughts. Okay, so let's take one deep breath through the nose and blow it out just as kind of a clearing. So breathe in. Let it out. Okay, now let's begin. Let's breathe into the nostrils to a 4 count. Ready? Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold it in. 2, 3, 4. Exhale through the nose. 2, 3, 4. Hold it out. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it in. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it out. Breathe in. Hold it in. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it out. One more time now. Breathe in. Hold it in. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold it out. That's just about 60 seconds. I want you now to scan your body to see if that stress, wherever you may have found it, is still there or if it's improved. Next, be aware of your thoughts. Are they still racing? Are they a little calmer? And I'm going to put you on the spot. Tell me what kind of experience you had with that exercise.
Very good. Thank you so much, first of all. And I'm feeling more calm. It doesn't mean like I was feeling stressed, but we always have something. And I was feeling like, okay, because we're about to start our podcast, there's always that questions and a lot of questions in my mind, but I'm now more relaxed, and I was feeling more into my, my glasses around this area was that kind of pain, not pain, but uncomfortable. And it's more soft. Is everything more soft? I love it. Thank you so much, Ronald.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. It's, stress is interesting because stress can be a good thing. If we have a deadline, a paper, if it's a sporting event, you're getting to the end of the game, there's stress to really perform. But the difference is there's an ending point. So the stress then backs off and your body can normalize. But with the situation that we're dealing with in the world, and even before that time, the stress level around the world for especially people involved in business was very, very high. It was somewhere around 70%. So this chronic stress creates real issues in our body. It can undermine the immune system, and it causes all kinds of issues. But the one thing that I really like to focus on is when your brain is under a lot of stress, you're in what they call survival mode. It's the fight, flight, freeze syndrome. And when you're in that mode, your body can only focus on survival, your weaknesses and your vulnerabilities. That's just not the time to make major decisions in your business, career, or your life.
Fantastic. I'm out actually reading a book about that, and it's called the First Aid Kit for the Emotions, and it's talking about that. And it's really important because that mode that you just said about it is one of the lot of people lives on that mode, on that they're not living the life really, but this is very interesting. I'm loving it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, they react to life, and our body is an incredible organism. There's only one issue. It's highly resilient, so it adapts to stress to the point where we don't even know we're stressing anymore.
Right. That's right. That's so true. Thank you so much. And I'm going to say thank you now from my listeners, because I'm sure a lot of the listeners will enjoy this exercise and they can keep doing every single day, right? Ronald,
absolutely. Yeah, in fact, Yola, what I like to do, I use this as a part of my morning routine.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to start the day, clear and focused. And once I do it, I write down my intentions for the day. And it's amazing how many of those just effortlessly come true. But I tell my clients, use this throughout your workday. Set your phone for maybe every 2 hours, stop what you're doing and do the breathing exercise. What they tell me after 3 or 4 days of doing this practice, that their body in mid-afternoon no longer has that afternoon stress. So they don't need to reach for the candy bar or the cup of coffee. And back in the days when we were still commuting to work, many of them told me that they got home and they still had energy. So if they wanted to work out, take the dog for a walk, prepare food, do things with the children, there was time. They still had the energy to do it. So it's very, very powerful, and it's simple. 60 seconds isn't much time.
Fantastic. And where did you learn this, and how long you've been doing?
Well, where I learned it, it's kind of interesting, because that guide goes into a little bit of my story. Back in the last Great Recession, 2007, 8, 9, I was consulting small businesses. And I found a pattern when I was working with these different businesses. The more stress they had, the bigger problems they were dealing with. So instead of doing my consulting work, I moved into coaching, and I was focusing on stress relief. So that's where I first started developing this process.
Techniques.
And when we were successful, Yola, it was easy to fix the business. When they bought in, whether it was the owner, the management, or the employees, the results came quickly. But what was kind of ironic is I didn't know this stress exercise and some others that I used were literally going to save my life. During the end of that recession, my wife lost her job. And like most households, we lived on 2 incomes. Right. So quickly, we realized we couldn't make our mortgage payment. We decided to take the high road, save the mortgage, save our home, save our credit. So we tapped our savings, our retirement. We still lost our home. And so there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I had a client who offered me a really good position, who financially could get us stabilized. We could move and start over. Our light at the end of the tunnel was quickly snuffed out 5 months later, when the oil and gas prices plummeted. He had to let almost every one of his 75 employees go, including me. I'll never forget that drive home to tell my wife, who was still unemployed, that I just lost my job. I don't know if anyone's ever felt like that, but here's what we were faced with. We had about $1,000 in the bank. We had a car that needed a transmission. And within 2 weeks, we were going to be homeless. We didn't have the money to pay the next month's rent. So after literally just being in shock for about 2 days, my wife and I barely spoke. I realized that this breathing exercise and the other stress reduction techniques that I was using to help my businesses, I now needed. Yes. And let me tell you, one of the hardest things that you'll ever do is swallow your own medicine. Yeah. But I had no choice. I had no choice. Fortunately, within that 2 weeks, I was able to gain traction. I reached out to another client, I got a job, and that was the start. Fantastic. So that's where the breathing exercise really got started, at that point.
Because bring us to the right place where we should be mentally, emotionally, because takes us away that anger or that stress or that anxiety, right? So this is really powerful. And thank you once again.
Yeah, it is. And see, at that point, stress comes and goes. Even the chronic stress is going to come and go. But at the same time, I was dealing with those issues, and my self-worth and self-esteem was probably at the lowest point ever. Yeah. Because I had followed tradition, whatever traditional protocols society said to follow. Save your home, your family. None of it worked.
Right.
And here I am, professional, well-educated, with a successful career behind me, but I'm focused on my future, and it didn't look very good at that point. Right. So, so I continued to use that stress exercise. In fact, I started doing it 5 minutes a day. I worked all the way up to 30 minutes. And it really made a huge change in my life. Now, that wasn't the only thing I used, of course. I added gratitude and a lot of other protocols too. But that stress reduction technique, the breathing exercise for 30 minutes is powerful. Now, one note of warning to you and all your listeners: if you do that, please understand, when you do this or any kind of meditation, your mind is going to drift. Be gentle with yourself, bring yourself back to the breathing. The breathing is the key. When you focus on that, it's easier to keep your attention on the relaxation. So, that's been my experience, and I still do that breathing exercise to this day, and that's been about 10 years.
Fantastic. I do know that you're talking is right and it's true, because I do practice as well. And I love when my guests come. You know, the first one, I think I had a lady as well. She said, Diola, could we start with a breathing technique? And I was like, yes. And then from that day, I start to join my team as well on meetings and share with them and doing this before the meeting, because I do this normally on my morning rituals as well. And
Nice.
I spend 10 minutes and it changed completely my day. It's just one part of my day that I've revitalized or energized myself, my power, my inner power. And I love and I'm grateful for being able to found that information and start it, because it's really worth it. So for anyone that is listening and is watching this video, I hope you can try. You can just try 1 minute, like Ronald said, 60 seconds, which means like we've done 4 times this exercise, right? Counting, breathing in 4 times, staying there 4 times, and then breathing out 4 times and staying there 4 times.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I got it. I got it. So now we're going to go focus on yourself as a man, as a business person. You now you are a coach, right?
Yes.
A consultant and a coach.
Yes.
And as a coach, how has been your journey? How it's been?
The journey's been interesting. The coaching, for me, the coaching's fun. My passion is really helping people get what they want, what's important to them. But I'm finding that the coaching, the clients' wants are shifting. Initially the clients were really after, fix my business, fix my business, fix my business. And of course, businesses need fixed. But people are coming to me now, and yeah, they need help with their business, but they're saying there's something missing. I had one client come to me, it was a few months back, and they said, I can do better. I'm doing okay with my business, but you know what? I'm in my late 30s. What kind of a legacy am I going to leave behind? What are they going to put on my tombstone? What did I accomplish when I was here? And I'm finding more and more of that. And there's a shift that's moving to a more heart-centered aspect to business. And it's not that profits aren't important. Believe me, they are. Otherwise, there's no point in doing business, because it's still work. I don't care what you use, but the profitability has to be there. But what we're finding is you can do it from a place of being heart-centered. And by that, what I mean is you're taking care of your customers. You have to do that. But really make sure you're giving them value, that you're creating a lifetime customer. But take care of your employees. They're your biggest asset, and their family. Take care of your vendors, and then reach out to the community of which we're a part. 50 years ago, and I'm dating myself a little bit, but 50 years ago, the world was like that. If there was a neighbor that had an issue, everyone was there in the neighborhood to help, to do what they can. You would even help a stranger if they were broken down on the side of the road with their vehicle. We've gotten away from that. I think what's happened is, with the advancement of technology and everything moving so rapidly, with social media as much of a blessing, it has aspects that's a curse as well. Because now there's this psyche where we tend to be in competition with one another. Instead of just sharing who we are and what we are, we have to be better. And that, combined with technology, instant gratification, everything now, we've become very self-centered, very self-focused. So we've truly lost that sense of community, of sharing this planet and realizing we're in this together.
Wow.
We have one planet to share. And just to throw one final point here, I really think the situation we're in right now is a great opportunity for this planet to come together, for people to reach out and begin to solve these problems on a local level. I'll be honest with you, we can't wait for governments to solve these problems. They don't know how. They work with numbers and all kind of other junk. We as the people have to reach out, and that's why I'm passionate about my coaching clients, because businesses, I believe, are the fastest way that me as a coach and an individual, I can impact the most people.
Right. Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you for your answer. And it's so true, because we need to start, like you said, taking care of our families and taking care of our neighbors. I'm living in a society that I don't see that often, like exactly like you said. And the other day I was talking with a family member and I said, my dream now is to be able to live in a neighborhood that I can knock the next door, or if the other person needs help, everyone comes together, because that is very far away from what I'm living right now. It's so difficult to have neighbors, real people, like when I was young, that would happen. And now I can't see, and that's the way we're living. That's exactly, fast speed is so, it's horrible. In a way, it's horrible. It's got the good things and the bad, so like exactly like you said. And Ronald, when you, like, on your journey as a coach, what can you say to your, like, about yourself? Like, let me ask, if I would say why you are different, because you already said that you take care of your, in a way, your clients. You like to make sure they care of their families, etc. But what makes you be a different?
My approach is slightly different. I'm a student of neuroscience and quantum physics. So what I use is evidence-based protocols that they have validated are highly effective in getting results. This stress exercise that we went through, the breathing, is one of those applications, one of those protocols. They've done the research, and truthfully, I'm not into all the scientific research. Give me the results and show me how to use it. That's what I want to know.
Yes.
So, but they actually show where different parts of the brain light up when you're doing your breathing exercise, when you're doing gratitude, and you're sincerely grateful for what you have, the air that you breathe, and the friendship and your health. It shows different parts of the brain light up that have positive, that release positive chemicals, positive hormones in the body. That's the basis of a lot of this research. So that's my approach. It's a little bit different. And quantum physics plays a good role too. There was a movie out, it was sort of a quasi-movie documentary, 2003, 4, 5, right in there. It's called What the Bleep Do We Know? And it was research that went into the field of all possibilities. And essentially what they did through documentary, through animation, through actual science experiments that were being done and are still valid today, they were showing you how we create our life, how we live in the field of all possibilities, and where we focus our energy and what we constantly think about, we attract into our life. These are some of the essential principles that I use and get some pretty impressive results, because we live in a plane of manifestation. You know, a perfect example, when you and the girls are taking a weekend to go away and you're excited, you're talking about all the good times you have, and what happens when you go? You have a fantastic time. But then, and again, back in the day when you were driving to the mall or driving to a shopping center, you hated to go because you could never find a parking spot. You drive around 20 minutes and you're looking and looking, and that becomes true too. Every time you go, you have trouble finding a parking spot because that's the mindset. That's where you're focused.
Yeah.
So these principles are very powerful. And one of the things that most people can identify with, whether you're religious or not, there was a time that the word was spoken and worlds were created. We were told we were created in that same image and likeness. And I believe that image and likeness is the power of our spoken word and our thoughts.
Fabulous. I'm with you. I believe so much like that as well. I love it. And who can benefit from your services? Is big companies, small businesses, or is individuals as a business people?
You know, my main focus is small and medium-sized businesses, even those I have worked for some larger corporations, and at the same time for leaders and professionals. If you're in an organization, you probably, and you're an executive, you have responsibility for your team.
Right. Yeah.
By helping you, and I help people in a way that they can use what I have taught them and play it forward. They can have me come in and coach their teams, or I show them how to use these same techniques. So I love working with businesses because you can see really fast results there. But I train sales teams. I work with individuals, actual individuals who just saying, look, these are the issues, my relationship's a mess, my career's a mess, what can I do? So I work with a lot of people. The key is, being open to a different way of thinking. It's the old traditional thinking that has got you and everyone in the situation they're in. We need a new perspective, just a slightly different slant. And that slightly different slant, you can change your life, your business, and your career in a very short amount of time.
Fantastic. Thank you. And my last question will be, how can people connect with you? How can find more about your work, your social media, website, and also if you have any freebie for my listeners? So give it away now, please.
Well, let's start with the freebie. Okay, I have a video that I'd be willing to share with all of your audience. They're absolutely free, and you can get that. The URL is very simple to remember. It's all one word: goldentrailcoaching.gr8 for great.com.
Right.
That's Golden Trail Coaching, one word, .gr8.com. And you get the video, the same exercise we went through with a very similar explanation. To reach out to me, I'm most active on LinkedIn. Just put my name in there, Ronald Foglia. And I'm also active on Instagram. I'm beginning to build that platform as well. But the simplest, easiest way to reach out to me is ron@goldentrailcoaching.com. I usually respond to all my emails within 24 hours. And if you have a question, I'd be glad to answer it. There's no obligation. I also offer 30-minute free strategy sessions. If someone just wants to talk, I'd be willing to talk with you. I don't care who you are, what your issue is, and I'll give you some pointers. If you're happy with that and we want to go farther, we can. If not, there's no obligation, and we part friends.
That's really good. Thank you so much. And all this information, Ronald, about yourself will be on the description of our podcast session. So awesome. Before we end, I want to say thank you. And I want to remember all my listeners that this will be posted on Anchor, Spotify, and also YouTube channel. So exactly today, we will be able to post this video, and later on during the next few months we will be live as well, just for listeners who like more listen podcast instead of video. But thank you so much, Ronald, for being here with me. It was a pleasure, and I hope you continuously grow inside of yourself and bring more happiness to your customers, to your clients. God bless you.
Yola, thank you very much. I'm grateful. It was my pleasure being here. I love to share this story. If what we did today can positively impact one person, it's been well worthwhile. So yeah. I'm grateful for the opportunity.
I agree with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You take care. And I'm sure I'm going to be in touch with you. I'm going to be following and I'm going to watch again your video, and I will also promote on my pages because I found this really powerful. And like you said, we can change one person today, but it will be worth it. It's always worth it. Right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you as well. We are at the end of our podcast session on Entrepreneur Talks Podcast by WomenFlix, Season 5. Thank you for listening and also for watching. From this season, you got all the videos on YouTube. On our YouTube channel, you will be able to see us talking on each podcast. Find us on our website or social media by WomenFlix. My name is Yola Bastos, and I'm so grateful to be able to provide you these conversations with people that want to share their amazing experiences and inspire over and over people around the globe. Stay connected and keep coming for more. I hope to see you next week. Take care. Bye.